Introducing your host of the Playlisted Podcast, Mr. Austin Burke.
What's going on, Greenlight Bar? How we feeling tonight? All right. I am very excited about this guest tonight. But before we get to him, how are you doing, Dean?
I'm good, dude. Can't complain.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Nothing.
You went to Odie's? You were at Odie's Bar
Played
this weekend?
the soft opening of Odie's.
When is it open?
I don't know. We also asked, we're like, is this the grand opening? And they were like, no. We're like, so it's like a soft opening? And they were like, no. And we're like, I think that's what a soft opening is. But I don't know.
It's more like Old Dominion was in town. They wanted to see if their bar was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dude with the cool gray hair was there.
Nice.
He seemed very nice. That was my only interaction.
That's cool.
It's a very cool bar. A lot better than Rebar was. Which is not hard to beat.
Yeah. Everything else going good? Do you do anything for Easter? Or?
No, I'm actually going to South Carolina this weekend, though. My sister is taking my niece and nephews to their first Monster Jam. And I was like,
Dude.
I'm going. I'll be there.
That's going to be sick.
Yeah. And then
Uncle Dean's coming in. We're going to go see some cars.
Go see some trucks.
Let's go.
Very
dude.
excited.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be good.
Well, I am very excited for this guest tonight. I've known him forever. He's been coined by the Tennessean the Dick Clark of Nashville. He is, you've heard him, you've seen him, you know him. Give it up for Storme Warren! Storme Warren.
How we doing, everybody?
His mic's not working already.
Wow.
Great
There we
start.
go. Great
How we doing, everybody?
There we go.
So great to be out here. As Austin said, I've known this guy for a long time, since you were like a puppy. And it's just been fun I'm proud of everything you've done. And now you're a dad. I can't believe you're a father of two now.
That's a scary thought, right?
Yeah. You should have known him back when.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild. No, I'm excited to have you, man. I used to work at a place called the Palm Restaurant back in the day.
otherwise known as my office.
Yeah, it really was. SiriusXM was right across the street.
Yeah.
And
And that was a problem.
you would leave your job in the morning at SiriusXM, the highway, and
Yeah.
come to the Palm
For lunch.
for lunch.
But
it turned into dinner most nights.
most nights.
And then it turned
not
into
lying.
espresso martinis.
And for breakfast.
After dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's so good to have you.
I love you to death, and I love what you're doing here. This is cool. I do a similar songwriters round, not like in your style at all, totally different, so it's not similar. But I do a songwriters round at the 12:30 Club on Wednesdays, so there's my shameless plug.
Nice. Do it.
3 to 5, and you should come play it one time.
I would love to come play, and I would love to come check it out. Is it every week or?
Every week, every Wednesday when I'm in town.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we've been doing it for 2 years now, and it's really cool. And so I do it at like a Q&A fashion. It's kind of a more a variety show than it is a traditional
so you
writers
know what
round.
you're doing then.
Someone taught me something. I don't know.
Probably know a couple things.
You
I
know what
learned.
you're
I learned everything from you.
Well, I'm gonna explain the show a little bit, and I'll explain it to you, and I'll explain it to everybody that's watching on YouTube and in the crowd. Basically, what's gonna happen is we have 6 artists tonight. They're gonna come up. They're gonna sing a song. A lot of these artists are either new to town. Some have been here for a while. But what I love and what
One has been here for 3 days.
yeah. What I love, really? Is that true?
Yeah. Well,
You know
this
that?
time. This time.
Oh shit! I thought you were joking.
No.
Okay, so that's the reality of the show. Some people have been here forever. Some people have not been here. But one thing that happened to me early on is I was given constructive criticism. I was given advice. I was given things that helped turn my 10-year journey into a 5-year journey, and that's kind of my goal for this show. I really want to help give anything that I can to artists and help them grow and learn and just prosper. You know, that's what this town's all about.
That's so weird because you told me on the phone that you brought me on just to shred the people to death.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I want.
discourage
I want that too.
them to eliminate the competition.
That is not true.
That's the private pre-production.
We went to
conversation.
Kill Tony, which was the Kill Tony was
It's horrific.
kind of my vision for the show initially, but then I realized something early on. us artists are very sensitive. The format of the show is Kill Tony, but the way that this show is let's give you everything we've learned. Stormy's been in town. How long you been here?
30 years in Nashville, 40 years in the business.
I mean, to learn from somebody like Stormy as a young artist is like a dream come true, and I actually did. So thank you, and I'm excited for you to give some advice to some of these young artists that are coming on the show.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be a fun night. You guys excited? Come on.
Come on.
So with that being said, I'm going to let you draw a name from the hat right away. We're going to get it started.
Oh, you beat me to it. Matt. Where is Matt?
Matt Cosgrove. Come on up.
Matt Cosgrove.
Yeah, it's my shitty handwriting. Sorry. So as Matt gets ready, tell us a little bit about how you got into the industry and where did you...
I fell in love with radio as a kid. I worshiped the radio, the music, and I was also fascinated with the voices on the microphone in the radio. And I needed to find out what happened on the other side of my speaker. So in 7th grade, I took a field trip to a radio station in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and never looked back. And I've been doing radio for 40 years since that day, at TV for a long time too. So California, Oklahoma, Nashville, and country music stole my soul, stole my heart 30 plus years ago. It actually stole my heart when I was a tiny kid. I just, like every teenager does, got away from it and went
Rebelled.
to did a little top 40, did a little pop, did a little hair metal for a while, and then got back into Nashville. And it's been an incredible ride, and I got to credit the late Charlie Daniels for just about everything. He's the one who, he was my first interview. He was the one who made me move to Nashville, and he was a part of my life as long as he was alive. And then at the very end, when he passed away during COVID, I had the honor of officiating his funeral. Oh, wow. So it was a wild, wild story arc.
I watched that, and I was not close with him, but his manager...
Yeah, David Corlew lived at the Palm.
David Corlew was a good buddy of mine. That'd be somebody good to get on here too, actually, now that I think about it.
He would be really good.
Yeah, we got to get him on here. But explain to me a little bit. My first question is, you said you were interested in the people on the other side of the radio. Yeah. Who did you look up to as far as like radio goes?
Man, I listened to Rick D's weekly top 40. Casey Kasem was an idol of mine. Wolfman Jack. These are all old names because I'm an old guy. But that's who I looked up to in the radio world. And I still look up to people like Bill Cody to this day on WSM. And there's so many others that I just think of as true icons. Crook and Chase. I mean, I came to town to work for Lorianne and Charlie. And I think they're just the best at what they did. And congratulations, Lorianne and Charlie. They won the ACM Award for Broadcast Personality this year.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That is amazing. What do you think makes a great radio voice? What do you think makes a great interviewer? What characteristics do you look for in that?
From what I've learned, I actually worked on the TV side for a guy you may have remembered, Larry King. Larry King, the television host.
Legend.
And I was his stage manager for years, and he taught me so much. And the number one thing is never know more about the person than your audience does. Because then all you're doing is regurgitating information. You're not finding out what the audience wants to know about. You're just a vehicle for the audience to get to know the person you're talking to. And so ask the questions they would want to hear. And then the number one thing, though, is to listen. And don't be thinking about the next question while they're answering the question. Let that feed off the next. Were you listening when I said that?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I think no.
Yeah.
It's really important because I've been doing this. This is episode I think 13 maybe.
Oh wow!
And I went into it kind of not really knowing what to expect, but you have to know a lot about who you're talking to. You got to have questions for this and that. And then I finally had this moment where I was like, all right, well, what do people want to know? Like,
right.
And I want to get to a point where it's like, all right, what do people want to know about Storme Warren? What is something that people don't know about Storme Warren? I asked ChatGPT, by the way, a lot of things. I know a lot about you thanks to AI.
I bet it doesn't have that I love to hug trees and I love my birds.
I love that it doesn't.
No, I'm a nature junkie. I taught wilderness survival for 4 years. I bet she didn't see that one in there. Yeah.
Wow. I did see you were an Eagle Scout.
Well, that's where it all started.
wow,
Come
okay.
on.
So how did you become an Eagle?
Scouts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, you start in Cub Scouts and you
Yeah,
work your way
yeah.
up. And I just think the world of the scouting organization, they take a lot of heat a lot of times, but with the people that they've been building for decades with character and morals and values, there's just, you can't trade it. Plus, survival skills and life skills. It's just, if you got a kid, look into it. It's got a little bit of a stigma, and you need to throw that stigma away.
It's coming back.
The value of what scouting does cannot be measured.
No, it's coming back for sure. All right, before we get to Matt, I do have a question based on that. You're on a desert island.
Mm-hmm.
You have, you have 3 things, and you have 1 song that you can listen to. What are those things?
3 things. I would have to have a pocket knife.
Okay, and besides water and food, we'll
Okay,
give you a
so you're
couple.
just stuff
These are-
that I would want to bring
We'll
with
give you
me.
water and food. Yeah.
My dog Andy.
Okay.
Nice.
He's my dude.
You better say your wife.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If you're gonna drop Andy, you better.
Maybe
say
if you
your
had 4 or 5.
Honey,
but-
my wife.
All right,
I guess she'll be there.
besides like living beings.
And she is so used to me putting my dog ahead of
all right,
her.
besides
so-
living beings, that's
yeah.
3 things. All right, pocket knife. What else?
Pocket knife. My wife. I will put my wife on the list, and my dog. There you go.
And then what song would you listen to?
The Allman Brothers, Jessica,
Ooh.
on a loop. Since it's only 1 song, it would have to be on a loop. That's one that I listen to. That's my funeral song. That's what I want played at my funeral is Jessica.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, with that being said, let's give it up for our first guest of the night, Mr. Matt Cosgrove, singing his song "Finding You."
I was at 2 a.m., lights on, last call. Head full of steam, headed for the wall. The night didn't end until I went and blacked out. Woke up with the sun and the lost and found. 'Cause finding you saved me from drowning in the whiskey, going balls too crazy. You flipped me 180, pulled me out, baby, yeah, 'cause finding you saved me. From all the demons living in the bottle, you took my hand, took it off the throttle. And for the first time, started putting me first. You're a godsend, angel on earth. 'Cause finding you saved me from drowning in the whiskey, going balls too crazy. Flip me 180, pull me out, baby, yeah. 'Cause finding you saved me, yeah. I'd still be knocking on the devil's door. Lord knows if it wasn't for finding you. Yeah, finding you. 'Cause finding you saved me from drowning in the whiskey, going balls too crazy. Flip me 180, pull me out, baby, yeah. 'Cause finding you saved me, yeah. Yeah, finding you. Yeah, you pull me out, baby, yeah. 'Cause finding you saved me, yeah. finding you, finding you.
Matt Cosgrove, everybody.
Thank you.
Great job, Matt.
Let's go.
Matt, who'd you write that with?
Buddies Styles, Hari, and Stone Ailey.
Nice.
I know Stone.
Yeah.
Great guys, great guys.
That's awesome.
That's really good, man. It started off, I thought it was a little bit of a ode to Tracy Chapman Fast Car.
Very much so.
And then there was a little Hard to Love Lee Bryce that kind of snuck in there.
There's a lot going on.
And the chorus kind of leads to almost the Nickelback kind of the big build of Photograph.
I was going for Third Eye Blind, but
It was the same thing. But
I
that's-
heard Third Eye Blind.
Okay,
for
yeah,
sure,
yeah, but I was in the right wheelhouse.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
but I heard those the little just hints weaving through there. I compare songs all the time. That's just what I do, and we're all building off somebody else's genius to create our own. And I thought those three elements together worked really well.
Yeah, what
Thank you.
Really loved the hook, man. That's a great hook. Really strong hook. Finding You, I mean, that's a great title. What is there any inspiration behind that song or?
yeah, there's a lot. I got about 22 months off the booze now.
Nice,
And that was,
congratulations.
Let's go, dude.
Thank you, I guess. Yeah, I was getting to a point where it was like, okay, you can either have a career in music or you can be the local town drunk, and it was a pretty easy decision at that point. And,
Yeah,
you know,
to be
my
the
career-
town drunk.
Yeah, easy, not so easy, but it's just since my career's just been great and life's been great and my songwriting's better, everything's better, and right around the time I decided to do that, a person came in my life, my significant other, who. I was very comfortable with myself, and I was doing the thing. It's hard being a musician, being in bars and stuff, but I was doing it, and she kind of just made it a little bit easier to not turn to the bottle and stuff like that.
It's going to be a strange question, but as long with just supporting you in your journey, was she on a similar journey, or is she a drinker? Is she a non-drinker?
No. She's one of the normal ones, we call her. She can have one or two and call it a night.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, it's like one could turn into 20, turn into 40.
Pedal on.
Yeah, so she's just great. Also a musician, but she's very supportive of what I was going through and all.
That's the key right there.
Kind of an ode to her.
What'd you turn that addiction into? Did you start focusing more on the songwriting? Did you turn it into working out? What'd you do with that? Because I feel like
all the above, but definitely the songwriting. Because for me, I've been playing in bars since I was 14. I just turned 33 today. So that was a long time.
Happy birthday.
I feel like to be the guy who drops his birthday on the podcast.
Dude, happy birthday.
Thanks,
Let's
man.
go.
Hey, can we get 3 of those actually would you do something with pickers because I'll explain
They're
later.
your
But do you
sponsor.
mind doing like 3 just fun shots with pickers for us for his birthday? Sorry.
We'll do them on your
33.
behalf.
33?
Yeah.
That was
God,
that
you
was
don't look
my
it.
my
a lot
favorite
of moisturizer
birthday.
on the face. That's and
That is
clean living.
moisturizing is key.
That was my favorite birthday. My birthday is 0303, and I turned 33 on 2003.
Oh wow.
So
that's
so it was
awesome. I'm doing
0303
math. Hold on.
03 doing
Must've been a good time.
03. Yeah, we went to 333 Commerce Street, which
Nice.
was at 3:33 p.m. That's the Batman building.
What
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hell?
Went up to the 3rd floor, did 3 shots of tequila.
Are you
That's
shitting
really
me?
Yeah.
Oh my
Good things come in threes.
Yeah, no kidding. So happy 33.
That is awesome. Happy birthday,
Hey,
man.
thank you,
Yeah,
man.
we'll
Thanks for
definitely
having me. I appreciate
definitely
it.
do a shot. Yeah, man. I heard a lot of influences in that song. Was that intentional? Did you do that?
Yeah, again, leaning into the songwriting when I quit drinking was big because to me it was all just part of my job is to play. That's what I do. I perform live in the local bar scene. I'm like, okay, it's just part of the party. But once I got off the drink and I was like kind of more focused on the songwriting part, I'm like, okay, you really
I'm
do have to.
such an asshole. I just realized I got 3
No.
shots.
I
thought it
for a
was
guy
for us.
That
I thought it was for
just
us.
said he's sober.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to
Holy
say anything.
shit.
I
These
don't
are
drink.
for.
I was
No, that means-
This
but I
is
don't
for
drink.
Dean, who's also sober.
I'm recently back on the booze, which is a horrible story.
Dude,
but
you
yeah.
said listen.
That's so funny.
I think
Advice number
Austin
1, listen.
is doing
You just had
all
a kid,
3
so you need
shots.
my-
I was like,
Austin's doing all
obviously he
3
means
shots.
for the
Oh
3
my
of us.
God, what an
No,
asshole.
you're good.
That's really
You're good.
funny.
I'm
Austin,
sorry.
Take all 3 because you just had a kid.
Yeah, he deserves
Yeah,
it.
I did just have a kid. I'm not getting any
It's all
sleep.
good,
I got
Dad.
3 hours of sleep. How about that?
Yes.
You're good, buddy. You're good.
All right, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
took a year and a half off of of drinking. I was playing on Broadway. As the
Welcome
same
to
thing.
Nashville. The temptation is everywhere.
Oh no! I mean, I'm beyond that. Playing in casinos and stuff where I live, and the racetrack and wedding. You know, it's doesn't even cross my mind at this point. It's just something I don't want.
That's great. It's a huge success to get on this part of the journey. So congratulations
Thank
in
you
a
very
big way.
much. That means a lot coming from you.
Well,
I want to ask a question real quick.
Yeah.
I saw that you didn't start music seriously until you probably started this journey, or you were playing around in the bars, but really focused on it. And I noticed Dirk Bentley is an example. Yeah, I don't know if we know this. He doesn't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
There are two types of artists and songwriters that I've found. One is the gifted ones that just have always known they had that something, and then there's the other ones which I call the students. Like Dirk Bentley is a student of the craft and just may not know exactly what the sound is going to be, what the writing is going to be, but they put everything in their heart and soul into learning it and creating that craft. And it sounds like you are one of those.
I don't think I'll ever not be a student.
Yeah.
Because that's just how the game is. I mean, you're always learning. And back to the songwriting thing, it was like, okay, I try so hard to be original, but at the end of the day, it's really, you're always drawing from other artists, like you said. And when I started to kind of lean into that and stop trying to be this country guy I thought I was when I'm from upstate New York, and it's like, just be yourself and really pull from your inspirations, which for me is a lot of the 90s rock.
Sure.
And, of course, sing about stuff that means something to you, that you're living. Goes a long way, and people can tell too when they listen to your music.
That's awesome.
You're living.
100%, man. 100%. So
Nice
you
way
don't-
to start, Matt.
You don't live here. Are you planning on moving here? Or what's,
Yeah, I plan to move here in the fall.
Nice.
Sick.
Nice.
So,
You looking at places and everything? Or?
yeah, just trying to find something small and cheap
Nice.
in the city, studio apartments.
You know, it
something
used to
like
be you have to be present to win. That was kind of the motto.
Yeah.
But
Proximity.
now you got,
It still helps.
Yeah, but your son is working for a guy that has never lived here. You know, Zach
No.
Bryan.
No, there's a few.
I don't think Zach Bryan's lived here, so there's
No.
a few that can do it. And yeah, man, I love that. I think you've done a lot of soul searching, and you kind of know who you are. You got to figure that out. I recently quit gambling, so that's
on you, man.
my vice. And it's been awesome.
Can we
man.
get him a deck of cards?
Yeah.
3 deck of cards.
let's
get a little blackjack going to celebrate
We got
Austin giving up
free,
gambling.
free play bets going on.
Put it on 3.
And a DraftKings account. If we could just do that, that would be great.
I don't know if you want me to say this, but Austin's like, whenever I get the urge to gamble, I just invest in DraftKings. I'm
you
like,
go.
I've thought about that multiple times. I'm like,
Yeah.
you should be on their side of the profits.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
No, that's very true.
smart.
Yeah.
How
So
many
if you
dice?
get the urge to take a shot like us, this is so fucked up. I honestly we're taking a shot for his
virgin?
birthday.
We got your virgin one.
Oh, that's
Nice. And Cody
Well
is
done.
a
Very nice.
virgin.
Well
so
done.
that's
Cody
pretty
is a
cool.
virgin. He's also from upstate New York. So
Yeah.
And she could be
Nice.
lying, by the way.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me, guys.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
cheers.
This is
Happy
great.
33rd birthday, man.
Thank you very
Happy
much.
birthday, buddy.
Thank y'all for coming out.
And welcome to
And you
town.
made the A-list, baby. Come on. There we go. He made the A-list. Let's go.
congrats, dude.
Matt Cosgrove, thank you so much, man. You crushed it tonight.
That was
Nice to meet
fast.
you.
That was really good.
That was a very good shot.
I didn't do it yet.
A lot of you guys are wondering what that sound was. What the hell was that? That's called the A-list. If you crush it on the show, you make the A-list. Like Matt, we got a playlist on Spotify and Apple, but hopefully we get one on the big 615. We'll
No,
get a
that would
playlist
be
on
great.
That's
I
what
would
we
love
need
to
add. We need
start
add one.
playing Matt on the big 615.
Let's go, baby.
But here's what's up. All right, so we just did a deal with Pickers Vodka, who just got bought by Big Machine.
Right.
Okay. The A-list used to kind of mean nothing. It now means something. Each month, we're having a private show for the A&R team of Big Machine at Big Machine Distillery downtown. So if you make the A-list, you have a chance to play in front of Scott Borchetta, the A&R team for
Allison
Big Machine,
Jones,
and
the whole-
all of them. Yeah. So you get a chance to play in front of them and maybe get a record deal. That's what I am super excited about. So congratulations to Matt. You made the A-list. Appreciate you.
Has it happened yet?
Our first show is coming up in May. So we haven't done a show yet, but the first A-list show is going to be in May, and we're working on something for CMA Fest. It's fun, man. I'm excited.
That's great.
This is like, I wanted to create a show that gave people a chance. I feel like it's so hard right now. I don't know. Are you seeing that on your end as far as artists trying to come up?
It's crazy. It's cutting through the noise is the biggest challenge I see. I mean, for a consumer of music, I think it's the best environment that music has ever had. There's more out there, there's more available, but it's getting the attention and raising your flag high enough that people pay attention. And I think that's the biggest challenge. Of course, you have to have the talent and the people working with you, and there's a lot of pieces that go into that puzzle, but it's just cutting through the noise any way you can to get attention.
Is there anybody that you met right off the bat, whether it was at SiriusXM or anywhere that you kind of started interviewing people, that you were like, they got it right away?
Austin Burke, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Is there anybody for real that it was like,
you know who I fell in love
star?
with? There's a bunch, but one guy that I fell in love with, and I still think the world of, and if you listen to Kiss Me When I'm Down, Ryan Kinder. Ryan Kinder is he's got such a unique, huge voice and a great songwriter, and I just think the world of him. When he came in for the first time to SiriusXM, I went, yep.
Wow.
And it's still a long journey for him, but I still believe in him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is there anything that you think makes a star? Any similar characteristics that you've seen that stars have? The old cliche is it's the it factor, and nobody can really define the it. You just know it when you see it. And for the biggest ones, I call it the back to the door effect. If I could sit with my back to the door and know that a star walked in, that's the it factor. Just without even seeing the person. It's a feeling.
Yeah, the energy changes in the room. There's just something that happens when a person walks in the door and you go, whew, there it is. Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong on who this was, but there was a big star back, I want to say, who was like the hottest thing in the 60s? Like, not...
The Beatles?
No.
Felt like a good guess.
She was the blonde that was like super...
Tammy Wynette?
No, not country. She was like a movie
country.
Star. Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, yeah.
She had the it factor.
I've heard of her.
I've heard this story, and I think it was Marilyn Monroe, but she was walking. It might have been Dolly Parton too. I don't know. One of them was walking down the street with a friend, and they were like, I don't know how people don't notice that you're Marilyn Monroe. And she goes, oh, honey, it's because I haven't turned it on. I'm not Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, wow.
And she said, watch this. And it was like a flip in her brain, and she turned.
Dolly does
it.
that.
Was it Dolly? It might have been Dolly.
I think it's Dolly.
Okay. It was Dolly then. It was
I
Dolly.
can totally see it being more Dolly than Marilyn Monroe.
Okay. Then that's who it was. I heard that story before.
And I've seen
like
it. I've seen it in person where she'll walk into the room almost like she's off. And she'll sit down and go like, hey, Stormy, how you doing? I'm doing great. Okay, so we're just going to do this interview? Yeah, we're going to do that. Cool. And then as soon as you hit the on button on the mic, well, hi! And suddenly Dolly comes alive like a puppet, and it was just, but it's all real. It's all her, but she knows how to flip that switch to another gear.
Turn it to 11.
Yeah. Garth is another one that when he walks into the room, it almost takes your breath away.
Yeah.
He just has this...
It does.
And I work for him, and he still does it. He'll still walk into the room, and you're just like...
What's it like working for Garth Brooks?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, he's turned in... It's hard to believe that I can call him a friend now, but he has been a great mentor, a great friend, and he truly believes in what we're trying to create with the Big 615. And it was his brainchild, and he's like, I'm going to get out of the way. Let you guys do you guys are the pros, so do it.
What are you trying to create there?
The biggest global country music channel on the planet.
I love it. Give it up for that. I want to dive a little deeper into that, but why don't you draw the next name so they can come on up here?
Hannah Smith.
Hannah Smith, come on up.
Come on down. There's Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hello, Hannah. You're good. Take your time. We got a good conversation brewing. So you're trying to create the biggest
channel on the planet.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Mainly because what Garth has seen and what I have seen is that country music is more global, thanks to streaming, thanks to touring, thanks to whatever. There are people. Michael Ray came into our studio one time and he was dying laughing with his manager Buffy. And I'm like, what's so funny? He goes, well, we come walking into your studio and we were just talking in the car. He goes, Michael Ray, there is the strangest thing happening. You are huge in Lithuania. And he's like, what? Because your streaming numbers are through the roof in Lithuania.
Yeah.
And then we come walking through your door and we're like, oh, it's them.
Wow.
And it's kind of cool to be a part of just. And Garth said it in the very beginning, and I said it with him. It's like our goal is just to make the world a much smaller place through country music.
Well, Garth did that for me, being from Arizona in a time where country music was
I was
not
just
popular.
there, and I'm still coughing up dust.
Yeah. Country music wasn't big out there, though. It really wasn't. I grew up, listening to...
Dirks is from there.
He is, but he doesn't claim it.
I know.
That's another subject. We'll
Yeah,
talk
never
about that in a
mind.
second. But... growing up in Arizona, we kind of got pop country because it had to get so big that we would be able to hear it. And so I grew up on Shania Twain, Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks being my hero. He's the reason I moved here.
It's funny to think of Garth Brooks as pop country, isn't it?
But he is.
Yeah.
No, he was.
At the time, he was.
No, he was.
Yeah.
He was pop country. And actually,
We're not ignoring you, Hannah.
I've heard. No, we're gonna get to you in a second.
ignore it.
I've heard from people that are have been here forever, and they are like they're country music.
Royalty? No.
They're just purists.
Purists,
right?
yeah.
And they don't like when people quote unquote sell out. But Garth got so big that he brought the country music genre to specifically my little town in Arizona.
As he said,
Ireland.
He did not go to that audience. He brought the audience to him.
Exactly.
Which is a huge difference.
Exactly. No, he did that, and he did that for country music, and that's something nobody can ever take away from Garth.
Yeah.
And my number one country right now is Australia. I had Tyler Rich on a couple weeks ago. We were talking about maybe getting a tour together because it's expensive.
I
It's
just
hard.
got back from there like 3 weeks ago.
How is
No
it?
kidding.
I've been going there for 20 years. I host a festival there.
Do they love country music?
Yeah, it's TNC
it's my
Rocks.
number
Why
one
don't
city.
you come play?
It's my number one city.
Well, come play.
I want to. Tyler and I are trying to figure out how to get out there. It's too
You're sitting next to the guy who can make that happen.
Well, let's make it happen.
Let's go.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
And they're the most rabid, invested country music fans.
God, I love it.
See, we're spoiled in America because you get to see your biggest stars almost anywhere you want very easily. It takes a lot for an artist to get to Australia, and they wait a long time. So by the time they get there, they've already learned every word to every song you've ever put out. And you could have one EP out, and they will be screaming every word back to you by the time you even take the stage.
That's awesome.
Let's get to Australia.
I'm anytime.
Let's do it. Well, Miss Hannah Smith, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for playing. I want to thank you before you play because we had someone last minute back out. It happens all the time. It was like 6 o'clock, said you were ready to go.
Yeah, here I am. Thanks for letting me come.
I love it. Thank you. That's what that's what it takes in this town is to freaking say yes. Just
Actually, that's no truer words. I mean, no one ever got anywhere by saying no.
True.
Very true.
I love it.
Say yes and let God do the rest,
Oh, damn.
There are
Might
exceptions,
be a
so
song.
please.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
That's true. But
Generally.
I don't want to take away from your music, but I am absolutely a wine junkie.
You saw that?
I did, and I've seen the documentary Psalm and Psalm 2,
Yeah.
and was the test as hard as the documentary made it look?
She's a sommelier, just so everybody does.
Yes.
Which means badass wine server. Basically.
I would like to clarify, I'm not a master.
No,
which
but,
the
but still, it's very
Yeah.
rare to even get to be a certified.
It was really hard, yeah. It was kind of a random thing. I moved to town with no idea what I was doing, and I hadn't even really started doing songwriting or performing or anything. And the first person I met was a som, and she was like, "I'll teach you everything I know." I was like, "Really?" And then before you knew it, a year later, I took the test, and I was like, "Man, that was fun." And now she's one of my closest friends too.
Nice.
So
That's
it's
so
pretty cool.
great. Wine brings people together.
It does.
It
It really
does.
does.
So, have you ever used the term when describing a wine of cut garden hose?
I have not, but there are some pretty weird ways you can describe wine.
Cut garden hose. That always fascinated me.
Is that one you've heard?
Yeah, it's
like
in the
rubber.
documentary.
Yeah. Smells like
Sounds
rubber.
not good.
That sounds like some. Some
Sounds like
Arizona.
Dasani water.
Yeah.
There's also fresh cut grass. There's all silly
Blood.
putty is another one. There's all kinds of.
Sounds like fluoride.
Honestly, I sometimes
Formaldehyde.
think I honestly sometimes think they'll just give you points if you say weird things. Like you don't have to back it up. You can just say things.
This smells like doll hair.
Yeah. And they're like, "Wow, what a refined palate she has. She has such a
Parted doll hair.
Parted doll.
That's
Yeah,
even
exactly.
It's like, no, yeah, I taste doll hair too. Yeah, now that you mention
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to date myself. What is it? I believe that smells like the inside of a Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had one of those.
I worked for a winery here in Nashville, Belle Meade, for a little while and gave tastings. And I found that if you tell people that you smell
believe
something, they believe you. And they're like, oh, me too.
Wow, yeah,
me too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It smells like Hollister in 2002.
I know that smell for sure.
The intake valve of a 69 Chevy.
That's 100 proof.
I'm in. We'll take the bottle.
All right, give it up for Hannah Smith singing her song "Torn Up Ticker."
And
Yeah.
she gets double points for coming in late. She gets double
Hey,
points and
thank
for
you.
knowing her shit about wine. So
My car's running on its last leg, thinking about staging an accidental accident and calling Jake from the State Farm to cover it. I done played another hole in the 6-string, sitting pretty, wishing somebody would just bring a hammer to these hammer-ons so I could get another one to play. But the one thing that really needs replaced is this torn up ticker ticking in my chest. Could use a clean slate to jumpstart a reset. A little blue, it's a little bruised. It's a little too used to being used. Am I ever love again? You'll have to do me in and give this heart one last good break. I need a new one anyway. It's been loved and left a couple times. It skips a couple beats with every goodbye, and every good guy thinks he's Mr. Right and he'll fix it, but you can't fix this torn up ticker ticking in my chest. Could use a clean slate to jumpstart a reset. A little blue, it's a little bruised. It's a little too used to being used. Am I ever love again? You'll have to do me in and give this heart one last good break. I need a new one anyway. A new one anyway. Yeah. Well, this torn up ticker ticking in my chest. I'm begging you, baby, just break it. Use a clean slate to jumpstart a reset. I'm begging you, baby. This torn up ticker ticking in my chest. I'm begging you, baby, just break it. Use a clean slate to jumpstart a reset. I'm begging you, baby. This torn up ticker ticking in my chest. Use a clean slate to jumpstart a reset. A little blue, it's a little bruised. It's a little too used to being used. If I ever love again, you'll have to do me in. Give this heart one last good break. I need a new one anyway. Yeah. A new one anyway.
yeah, Hannah.
Thank you.
Hannah Smith. Where are you originally from?
I'm from California.
Where?
Valencia?
Oh
You know
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Magic Mountain.
Magic Mountain. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Newhall, Valencia. God.
Yes, you know
I
it.
know. I finished up high school in Ventura, so
Oh, okay.
right down the 126.
That's where I would spend most of my
Beach days.
beach days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carpinteria,
Oh
Ventura.
God, I love so
Yeah.
we digress.
No, it's good. I went to college in Santa Barbara, so.
Oh, okay. You
That's
get it.
right. Did you go to UCSB or
No, the
Santa Barbara
junior
City College?
I went to high school in San Diego. Literally went to college 1 year just, I think, to meet my wife, and then moved here. So.
SBCC is actually one of the most beautiful campuses.
Yeah.
Forget about it being a community college. It's one of the most beautiful campuses, period.
Oh,
No kidding.
That's great. But we're here to talk about Hannah and this song. Austin and I kind of agreed. Torn Up Ticker is so great, but I believe the title is
You needed
a new one anyway.
Okay, thank you, because that's what I think too. But then everybody always calls it can you sing the ticker song? So then I'm like,
Well,
okay, maybe.
they call it the sweater song for Keith Urban, but that's not the
true.
name of it.
Yeah.
All right, new
one
one.
anyway, I think is the title, but
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
in parentheses do Torn Up Ticker.
Torn Up Ticker.
Torn Up Ticker, yeah.
I love that.
absolutely.
Thank you for settling that debate for me. That just made it
But
easy.
there's a lot of great stuff in there, and I love the metaphor. I love.
Or new one.
It's the first time I've heard Jay of State Farm ever written into a song.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, but I got what you meant by it, but a new one anyway. That just sent me down so many different paths, and I think you could actually explore even more. It almost screams for one more thing that you need a new one of at the end.
Yeah, I
just
like that.
as a big payoff. Just to tie it all in with one big. I need a new one. And, that would be awesome.
Well, and the reason that they're saying Torn Up Ticker is because that's such a unique way of saying, broken heart. It's like, and I love the song.
And it's great. I don't want to take that away from the song.
100%. I'm with you though. I think it just was so unique. I feel like the Jake from State Farm, but just the way that you sang it, it was very much you.
The chorus really came alive, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was well structured, really came together, and it just like, whew, okay, there it is.
Yeah, who are some of your influences?
That's such a good
Being
question.
from California.
Being from California, I would agree with what you said earlier, where I like country had my soul at a young age, and then obviously you go to college, and then all of a sudden you're like, I like jazz and I like indie pop.
I like surf punk.
But I would be lying.
91X.
Yeah, for real. I mean, growing up, like singers, I was obsessed with Gary LeVox and and obviously Carrie Underwood and all of them.
Yeah.
But I would say currently listening to a lot of Lainey and things like that. So yeah.
Do you love Ashley Cook?
I do love her.
Yeah.
Her new song
I've
is
recently,
badass, by the way.
yeah.
I just listened to that.
It's unbelievable. The F word?
My God.
The F word?
Yeah.
Good.
So good. I fell in love with Your Place, and then, oh my gosh. But yeah, good role models you've picked there, Hannah.
yeah.
And I love that, the Academy of Country Music is an older award show than the Country Music Association. Yeah. And where was it based? Southern California. The Bakersfield sound. Everything that California has delivered to country music has been doing it as long or longer than even Nashville, has had a huge fingerprint on. Yes, they've done it longer, but they made a gigantic impact on the West Coast. And if you felt it, and you felt it bleed through your soul and in your DNA, welcome to Nashville.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome. How long have you been here for?
4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you pay tribute to California, or do you write songs that are about California a little bit?
I almost sang my California song. I have a song called Southern California, and it's about moving from moving Southern California.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. You're Southern.
Yeah.
Got it.
She's gone Southern California. But yeah.
I love
Pretty
it.
awesome.
Well,
Just don't say you're from Orange County.
Oh, I know. I worked at a church out in Orange County for a little while.
Yeah.
And I learned that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. I learned that I can't tell people that.
well,
It's true. You're so good. That was great. And there's so many moments in that song that just lit me up. And so
thank you.
well done.
I agree.
Thank you.
Is that song out yet?
Not yet.
Well,
not yet.
once it's out, it's A-listed. Congratulations.
Wow.
We're 2 for 2 today. Off to a good start.
That's really good.
We had a show 3 weeks ago. Nobody was A-listed.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I want you to also, I want to have you back, and I want to hear, whether it's a Southern California song, I want to hear something that when I listen to it, I'm like, this is Hannah Smith. I think that song was, I love Torn Up Ticker. I think it's obviously new one anyway, whatever the title is. I think it's a really good song, but I do want you to kind of maybe do a song that's a little bit more unique to who you are.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for saying that. I've been in this season where I'm looking for like real honest advice.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "That's your best song, so you should stick with that one." But I was like, "Really? Okay." So
But
yeah.
it's also so easy, as you know, when you were starting off, and a lot of people still get caught in the traps of the cliches and trying to find the cute metaphors that they forget about the root meaning of the song. It's actually easier and more impactful to get away from those and write the honest truth than it is to be chasing the little kitschy things.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. Well, Hannah Smith, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
And,
Great job,
we'll
Hannah.
Be back again soon.
I would love to be back. Thank you for doing this. This is cool.
Absolutely.
Let's go ride roller coasters at Magic Mountain.
yeah.
I would love
The
to do that.
Superman and throw a penny at the top.
They hit different the older that you get, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
God. I know. I
that's
went
true.
with my wife to Magic Mountain in St. Louis a
Great job,
couple
Hannah.
years ago, and I was like, it was Easter actually, believe it or not.
Six Flags.
Six Flags, sorry, Six
Yeah.
Flags, and I got sick, man. It was open lines, nobody there, and I couldn't do it. I getting older.
You're getting old, Austin.
We're getting older. So Stormy, you've been here? You said 35 years.
30, a little over 30.
30, and you've been in the
32.
business for 40.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a moment throughout your journey that you felt like a Hannah, maybe like me last year, where you kind of you just don't know? You're
God.
you're wanting to dive deeper. You're like wanting more substance. You do the right thing, but you're like, who am I? Who is Storme Warren?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I still have imposter syndrome to this day. I still feel like the kid who came into town and didn't deserve it. And that was, still hadn't earned his way. And I've still, there's a lot of me that still feels that way.
Why do you feel like that?
Because I did start off as the kid. And I've never really allowed myself to get out of that mindset. But I think there are benefits to it that I'm constantly chasing to become better because
Is that
of
because
it.
Charlie gave you a shot, or what?
Yeah. I mean, he gave me.
So because he believed in you, then a lot of people did, and you kind of feel.
Maybe I don't know if it's even that. I just think people say, "Oh, you're really good at this." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, but I could be a lot better. I could be a lot better." I don't take. We talked about this earlier. I don't take accolades and praise as well as I do criticism and advice, and I think that's an important thing that has guided me through this career. Is I don't listen to the "Wow, great jobs." Those don't sit well with me. I'm just like, stop. No. Now tell me what I did wrong, and how do I fix it? So that's yeah. So I don't know if that answered your question.
No, that takes a special person, and honestly, I know there's a lot of artists in the crowd tonight. I know there's a lot of people that watch this show, and I know it's only episode. I think it's 13. I think it's episode 13. I lose track like you, Dean. I don't know.
I've completely lost track at this point.
But whatever episode it is, I think that what I've seen from the artists that get up on stage and take whatever little bits and pieces they can, or watch the show and take little bits and pieces, not personally, but take it to get them to the next level. Those are the ones that make it. You know, and we have 4 regulars on the show who can basically come on whenever they want, and they are so into getting better, and that's what I think drew me to these. One of the guys he's been here for 15 years, and he has a record deal, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. No, I'm serious. It's unbelievable, and that is this town that summarizes Nashville as a whole, and it's like you can be at the top of your game and feel like you're just doing everything right, and you still need something to like help get you to that next level. So everybody's trying to get that next level, but let's draw a name first, and we'll continue this conversation.
Sarah Beth Brewer.
Wow, that was a really good announcement. That's
Tell me you've been in radio for 30 years without telling me you've been in radio. To piggyback off what you guys were saying, I feel the same thing, and I feel like we get good at what we're doing by figuring out what we're doing wrong and then fixing it.
100%.
So then your mindset just gets in that way of like, what could I have done better? What could I have done better? And
you catch yourself making those same mistakes again. Go, I know better than that.
So someone's like, that was great, but you're thinking of it as someone with 30 years experience, 10 years experience, like whatever, and you're like, yeah, but I know that I could have done this better. I know this guy wouldn't have done. And it's like, I don't know if there's a way to turn that off. I still find myself doing that all the time.
Oh, it's so true.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it beating yourself up, but it is nice to remember those pieces of little wisdom that that could put you on the right course.
Well, look at the best. Look at the best in the business. Garth Brooks. He's always trying to get better. Look at Luke Combs. Look at a Morgan Wallen. They're always. I listened to an interview with Morgan a couple weeks ago on Theo talking about my
evolution.
My last record is not my new record. It's like, people are pitching me songs that would be great for my last record, but that's not who I am.
Eric Church is the same way.
You have to be trying to get better. I edit this podcast for a reason, okay? So I knew nothing about editing.
Cheater.
No, I knew nothing about editing. My wife went to film school, so she gave me some tips. But I edit, and it's so haunting sometimes to look at yourself not listening, not doing things, not just screwing up. And that's how I learn. I learned to try to get better because of all that. So, anyways.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It's, you gotta have some self-awareness.
So my challenge is to you, don't edit it. Just let it go.
I do. Yeah. No, I do. But we have 3 cameras, so I'm flipping the cameras. I don't edit anything unless somebody tells me to take something out.
Why aren't you switching the cameras over,
Me? Yeah. I can barely get the drum roll right, so I'm going to have to work my way up to that.
We don't edit the podcast unless somebody says something stupid, which I did.
Sorry, Matt.
About politics.
I think the only person to get chopped out is Austin himself.
I
which
did
I think is allowed.
say some stupid shit, episode 3. But yeah, anyways.
All right, we're sharing embarrassing stories. I will share one right now.
Let's do it.
This happened in Australia.
Okay.
Temperature was about 98 degrees, 100% humidity. I was dying, and I was racing around doing 30 different things. And I knew I had to run up and host the songwriters tent. And I looked at the lineup, and it was Wyatt Flores and 2 other artists. And I looked up, and I saw the 2 other artists, but I didn't see Wyatt Flores. And so I just ran up to the guy that in my mind I had somehow morphed into Wyatt Flores. Because I didn't know this other artist was supposed to be there because they hadn't changed the lineup yet. No way. So I walk up and sit down, and I'm doing this interview, and he's talking, and we get about halfway through the interview, and he goes, "Hey, Stormy, can we just go ahead and stop for a second?"
Oh, no.
And he's got a cigarette coming out of his mouth, and he goes, "You know I'm Zach Top."
Oh, no way. I love Zach Top, too. That's hilarious.
So do I. That's what made it even worse.
Yeah.
I was just like, I worship this guy.
Yeah.
But in my weird brain fart way, I had just morphed the 2 people.
That's a wild morph. That's an Australian morph.
And he thought so, too, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like, because I'm sure he's a great guy. But and I'm just like, but it was the slowest draw of a cigarette I've ever heard. It was... Hey, Stormy, you know I'm Zach Top.
That's so
And it was
funny.
like one of those pole pushes in movies where his face got like super far away and I could not get out of that room.
Oh, God, that's wild. How'd you get out of that?
I didn't.
Yeah, I guess
No, it was like, all right, take 2.
Yeah, just start over.
Man.
Yep.
Damn.
I mean,
that's
you
a good one.
You meet
though.
a lot of people.
Yeah,
You do.
Of
now
course.
I will say in 40 years that's the first time that's ever happened.
That's fair. And you were down under. So it's all good. Whatever happened.
Everything's
in Australia
backwards
stays
down there.
But it still hurts. But talking about, criticism and stuff that you hold on to remember, because of that moment, I will never make that mistake ever
never.
again. Yeah.
They were probably like, "Hey, Zach, Stormy owes you one now, so this is a win."
Yeah,
honestly.
right. Yeah, that's
With that said, our next guest is Wyatt Flores. No, oh, shit.
Wait a minute.
Miss Sarah Beth Brewer singing her song "Love Is Blind."
all right.
It's 2 a.m., my phone rings. Can't imagine who it'd be. It happens every Friday night. And the boys go out for drinks. and go back to sleep, 'cause he ain't who he used to be. Heartbreakup was the talk of the town. Everyone said they'd work it out, but they don't know about these broken dreams. They're cussing, fighting up all night. We both know it wasn't right, but somehow you still entangle me. Time and time I tell myself, girl, he put you through hell. Put down your phone and lock the screen. You don't want hell, you just want the memory. Close your eyes and go back to sleep, 'cause he ain't who he used to be. Drive her home and kiss goodnight. She'll say she had the time of her life, but she can't wait to watch this thing spread its wings. But you'll have me die before you pull out of her drive. And time I tell myself, girl, he put you through hell. Put down your phone and lock the screen. You don't want hell, you just want the memory. Close your eyes and go back to sleep, 'cause he ain't who he used to be. It's 2 a.m. and my phone rings. I can't imagine who it'd be. It happens every Friday night.
Miss Sarah Beth Brewer, everybody.
Thank y'all.
Nice.
Wow, Sarah. Where are you from?
Kentucky.
What part of Kentucky?
Western Kentucky.
Nice.
Little bitty town.
Nice.
Yes.
Who's that song about?
So actually, it's not about anybody that I know personally. It's based off of a show. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not, but there was a love triangle in this show that I was watching. So I wrote this song, "Wine Drunk," in my bathtub one night about the show.
I love that.
So
That's great.
yeah.
Inspiration comes from everywhere.
That's right. Yes, it does.
Look at Kenny Chesney. What was the line from Jerry Maguire that he wrote the song?
Oh.
You had me at hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did he write that?
Somebody wrote it.
Yeah. He sang it.
True.
All right, so I just need a little clarification because I just need a tiny bit of a lyric because I got really sucked into. Was he better in the past than he is now? Is he better? I couldn't figure out the flip. It's like he isn't who he used to be, but was that person better back then or worse back then?
He used to be a good guy. She thought he was the good guy, but it turns out he's not at all. So.
And I went down this total psychological rabbit hole of thinking about a relationship, which we've all been in, looking back at past relationships, where we tend to paint the picture much rosier of that past relationship than the reality was. And so we only remember the good times. And so I kept getting caught up in that little flip in that song. But there's some great lines in there.
Thank
I like
you.
the untangled
Appreciate it.
line.
Yeah, absolutely. You sent some facts in before you came on. It says you recently dropped your belt in the toilet before you were going on stage.
I'm wearing that belt right now.
Oh,
Yeah?
that's the one?
Ew.
Damn.
Did you
But
wash it?
I did wash it.
Stormy
but
wants to smell it to make sure.
Smells like
Everybody's
fresh
like,
garden hose.
How
There you go.
Everyone was like, "How did you do that?" And I'm
Let's
like,
get the small A back up here. Oh my god.
when you're a girl and you wear it like outside of the belt loops, you have to take it off to use the restroom. And it was right before the gig, and I was like, "What do? I don't have a belt on right now." So
Damn.
it is clean though. It's
That's
great.
awesome. Well,
It's a very cool belt. It's
Yeah.
worth cleaning.
Thank you.
That is one of the crazier facts I've gotten sent in. The other one, the guy got his finger chopped off by a dirt bike, and the dog ate it. So you get second place.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
that is,
I'm glad that I'm in second on that.
Did you have to
Sorry.
wait for the dog to pass it out the other end? And then,
no, that's the problem. It just
it
was
just
gone.
did
Yeah.
not.
They could have fixed it if the
Yeah.
dog didn't eat it.
Yeah.
Which is
was
crazy.
a wild story. for
There's
sure.
there's a line about roping in there. Did I get that right? Is there a song about my roping dreams, or what was that line?
My broken dreams.
Broken dreams.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Broken dreams.
Yeah. Okay.
Like she had this, like you said, the picture. She had this picture. So on the show, they had just gotten engaged, and after they revealed who was who at the end.
The show's called Love Is Blind. That's
Right.
the title of your song,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay, making sure.
The guy chose to go out with someone else and lied to her about it and all this, and so she found out that.
God, men suck.
Yeah.
And so the show just made you so sad you got wine drunk in your bathtub?
No, I was just like, heck yeah, this is a great idea. Like, yeah.
I love that.
No,
That's awesome.
I wasn't sad. I was like, this is a great.
How long
song.
you been in Nashville?
Okay, so we still like today. No, we live in Kentucky. We commute. So,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
We're about an hour and a half from here. So
Both
we
of
come
y'all
down.
are?
Yes, this is my brother Jacob.
Brother.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Nice to meet you,
Have you,
Jake.
how long have
plays
you guys been
guitar.
playing music together?
6 months, yeah. But we
Together.
actually wrote that. I wrote the lyrics and the melody, and then he came along and put the pieces together. Because I play, but I don't play well. So he helped me get it out there into the universe. So
Very cool.
I'm very thankful for that.
Very cool. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank
I
you,
know
I
it's not. I
appreciate
know the
it.
show isn't Love Is Blind.
Oh,
But,
no, it's fine.
yeah, no, you were awesome, and
Thank you so much.
Just keep writing and keep. I guess my advice, if you want some advice, I would say, I know that was about a show, but I would say, try to. My favorite thing about country music is just the honesty and how people write songs about their either if it's a personal story or something that happened or something they've seen.
Tie it back into your own life.
Yeah. Tie it back
Stay
into you.
tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. There's more to
there you
come.
go.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear who Sarah Beth Brewer is. So.
Yeah, but I like
Thank
it.
you.
I like that show created a spark that lit the fire
That's what I'm saying.
to write that. And now if we could just let that fire burn a little brighter and tie it back into your own soul, I think that would, oh man, I can't wait to hear more.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I guess.
appreciate y'all
Yeah.
saying
And I guess last thing too, I was like, when I heard that song, I was like, who's the guy? And then when you said
Everyone
it was
asked
about a
that,
show,
yeah.
I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
We wanted
But-
a tea.
So get that tea from your life, your personal life, and who you are, and write that. That's my advice.
Okay, thank you. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Sarah Beth
Thanks for
Brewer,
coming
great
by.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
y'all.
much. Appreciate it.
Good job, brother. Me and my brother were in a band together, and
How'd that go?
only one fist fight. So
Damn.
yeah, it's okay.
You and
It worked.
Ralph were-
Yeah.
That's crazy. Actually.
He just I was really into music, and he was doing it because our friends were starting a band.
Yeah.
And I would be like, "Would you just practice?" And
What
then
did he play?
Drums.
Okay.
He's actually pretty good. We still
Yeah.
played in church together later down the
Oh,
road
that's
and everything
cool,
else.
man.
So
That's very cool.
And then later I got to do an arena tour, and he got to come on the road with us, which was cool. So that all comes full circle. He was doing merch, but still counts.
all right.
Still counts. Yeah.
Brotherly love.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Love that dude.
Stormy, you want to get the next name out?
Yeah.
Keep this show on the road.
Almost missed it.
Brian
Brian Goyette, come on up here.
Goyer?
Goyette.
Goyette?
Goyette. Brian Goyette.
Depends how French you want it.
First of all, we're going to play a little game here. So, who's the most famous person in your phone? Out of all your contacts.
There's a couple of good ones.
Who's somebody that you're like, this is A-list?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Ooh. 24, dude. Let's
Mr.
go.
24
That's
himself.
sweet. Where'd you meet him?
We met. He came into the show, and then he likes his scotch, and I like my wine. And he goes, "What are you doing right now?" I said, "Nothing." So we went across the street to the Palm, and we just hit it off instantly.
Damn, why wasn't I there? That
And
would've
so
been cool.
now, whenever he comes to town, or I'm in a town where he is, and he's shooting somewhere or whatever, we get together, and he can throw down like no other human. We were in Crested Butte together. We've been all over the place together, and he's just one of the nicest humans ever.
24 was my parents' favorite show. So as a kid, grew up watching.
I mean, I'm Young Guns,
I want to watch
Lost
it again.
Boys.
I need to watch.
Yeah, Lost Boys, I
No, but
remember
no,
it.
100%. Yeah.
I made him. Okay, this is how bad I was as a fan. The first time I met him, I waited till the very end of the interview, and I'm like, "All right, dude, this is embarrassing." Yeah. But my favorite line in the entire movie, and I've been quoting it since it came out in 1980, whatever it was, is, "How are those maggots, Michael? You're eating maggots. How do they taste?"
That's wow.
A billion Chinese people can't be wrong. You know, and he goes, "I remember that line, but do that again." And so I did it to him.
That's so
And then he
surreal.
delivered it perfectly.
Let's go.
I used it on my radio show like every day.
I
That
bet.
is awesome.
Like, what a wild line, too, from that. Yeah.
God, that's awesome.
I also have Jim Nance, the
Oh,
sportscaster.
what? Are
Yeah.
you serious? Oh, that's a freaking sweet
Yeah.
one.
Which I also made him do a liner for the show. And if you keep talking, and I'll find it and I'll play
Yeah,
it.
Jim Nance.
Jim Nance, I
The
know.
Masters. Have you gone to the Masters?
Never.
Oh
Me
man.
neither. They won't let me play. Apparently, you have to be good at golf.
Yeah.
They would kick me out of the Augusta in 13.2 seconds.
So I got to go last year. It was my first year going, and it was the day that O.J. Simpson died.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't let you have your phones. And so it was the weirdest thing. Word started spreading. They're like, yeah, O.J. Simpson died. I'm like, shut up. Like, you know how rumors
Yeah,
start?
yeah.
But you didn't have your phone to check if it was real. And it was legit. Like, O.J. Simpson died that day.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Are you ready
All
for
right,
this?
yeah.
Yes.
This actually airs on my
so
channel now.
excited.
If you know the voice of Jim Nance, this is very special, or the Masters.
Oh, wow.
Hello, friends. Jim Nance of CBS Sports. And what an honor to be able to present to you on the Big 615, my friend Storme Warren.
That's
And
amazing.
yes, this big global music sensation, leader of the industry, tradition unlike any other. I'm working on it, Stormy. Give me a break here. I've got this line reserved for Augusta, but you know what I mean.
Oh, my
No
gosh.
way. That is
you made
crazy.
it after
All right, so who's somebody
Wow.
in your phone we could call and we can guess who they are? Is there anybody?
I've got a weird one. I don't know if he's going to answer because I.
All right, let's do this. We got a little game going on where he's going to call a famous person in his phone. And we need everybody in the crowd to guess who it is, okay?
If this happens.
Figure this out. Let's see if they answer.
Come on. It's another one of my heroes.
And if not, we'll call again.
Not good. Dang it. Dang it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
That
Call
was a
again.
good one. That was a good one. I already called it before to
Oh,
tell them that I would be
okay,
calling.
Okay,
so.
okay.
Yeah.
We can, if they call back, we'll interrupt. We'll interrupt.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when they call back, we'll
Yes.
get the music going.
Cut me off if you need to.
And I do have a great story about that game, by the way.
Which one?
The game we just played.
Oh.
My wife got drunk off wine during COVID, and she was bored, so she goes, "I'm going to play a game. We're going to call it You Have No Balls If." I said,
Way.
"What does that mean?" Because you have no balls if you don't call this person right now. And she had my phone, and so she was able to scroll through and stop on the name.
Wow.
And I'm like, "And I have to? Oh, you have to FaceTime them right now."
God, it was during COVID too, so nobody
Good time to do it. Everyone's bored.
Yeah, because everybody was answering.
Oh my God.
And so my boss, who wasn't my boss yet, Garth Brooks, the last conversation we had didn't go so well. And that was like a year before COVID. And hadn't talked to him really since. And I land on his number. And she goes, "You have no balls if." I'm like, "You're right. 0 is 0. I have none." But he answered. And we ended up FaceTiming him for about an hour and a half. And it turned out to be a really cool. My wife says, "I think that one FaceTime is why you got the job."
No
Wow,
Isn't
that's
that crazy?
awesome.
Serious?
So that game can pay off for you, kids.
The wife knows. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
What a wild story.
That is crazy.
I'm still geeking over the Jim Nance.
I
that was
obviously,
pretty
I
cool.
wouldn't have played it if I
No.
wasn't either. So
That's making it. in life.
Yeah.
Right there.
That would
Hopefully
be
we don't
my
get.
alarm every
Will I
morning.
get copyright bullshit for that?
no.
Okay.
No, we made it up. So
All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Everybody, give it up for Brian Goyette singing his song 29.
hi, Brian. We totally ignored you sitting over there.
Hey, that's fine. I liked hearing Jim Nance's voice again. I miss him already. I'm going to get pretty real with you guys on this one here. It's called 29.
Never thought at 29 that I'd be lying to myself, saying I'm fine inside my studio apartment. But I don't want another Friday full of acting like I couldn't rather hide behind my walls and just stay guarded. So I guess I'll just stay home, because there's comfort in the lonely, even though I know that it's what's killing me. But what difference does it make if I don't ever show my face? 'Cause it seems like no one sees it anyway. I never thought at 29 that I'd be lying to my friends when I see them flying through their lives effortlessly. It's not that I'm not happy for them, but I can't seem to ignore how badly that I wish that could be me. I still smile in all the pictures, take the calls and the well wishes, and show up when I make it back in town. But something they don't know is how hard I try to stay afloat, even when it would be easier to drown. Never thought at 29 that I'd be lying up in bed every night trying to make sense of why we called it quits. I tell myself it was the distance, 'cause it's the only way it makes sense, even though it don't add up from the outside looking in. Well, I guess I couldn't move those smoky mountains along the route like I always told you I would do for you. But then again, when I look back on everything I thought we had, I'm not sure you even wanted me to. Never thought at 29 that I'd be lying to myself, saying I'm fine inside a studio apartment. But I don't want another Friday full of acting like I wouldn't rather hide behind my walls, just stay guarded.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Is a monster song right there.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
That is so well written, so timely, so perfect. Represents everybody post-COVID, lost, struggling, and it's obviously a personal story.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I mean, you could feel that in your voice. You have a beautiful voice too, by the way.
Thank you, thank
really unique, great voice. But every word in that song, I was totally sucked into, and I was placing myself in people I know's shoes, and even at times my own shoes, of having been in those situations. That one line where it's like, nobody would see me anyway. Oh,
Yeah.
that was really good.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Brian, that was. I'm just gonna go out and say the best song we've ever had on the show.
I'm going to say that's one of the best songs I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That means
It's
so
really
much.
well done.
I think.
But I'm sorry you didn't make the A-list.
Maybe
I
next
think
time.
lyrically. Oh man. I think lyrically, emotionally, your vocal tension, the way you played guitar, everything about it. And it says that you wrote that song in 30 minutes on a random Thursday night in the pitch black at midnight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell us a little bit about the songwriting process of that song, and I guess just how you got there on that Thursday night.
Yeah. So, I mean, to start, you kind of got to dig into the past year. 2024 was kind of a tough one for me. It was definitely like the most trying one I've had since I moved to town, which was in February of 21. Started the year ending a relationship that I had really high hopes for. And then kind of just throughout the year, I had a couple shortcomings with some songs that I put out that I thought highly of that didn't necessarily do the streaming numbers. And things kind of just started to pile up. And then fast forward to like the end of the year, I had a couple buddies back home who were getting married. I was starting to see some of my peers, starting to take off down here. And it just was a really low point by the end of the fall and the winter.
The "What am I doing with my life" speech into the mirror. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And,
Where are you from?
I'm from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yes, sir.
He has Wisconsin on his hat.
Yeah, it's black. I couldn't see.
I'll wear the gray one if I'm invited back.
I didn't know if that was Wisconsin or just a
middle
back
finger.
Of a cow's ass.
Some sort of blob on my head.
Maybe the same thing. No,
We're not big
I love
geographers.
Wisconsin. By the way, I love Wisconsin.
It's
Probably my
some of the best country fans in the world up
favorite
there.
state.
100%.
The biggest country fans out of every state I've been to.
We do Country Thunder in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
it's one of the best.
Their state
ones.
bird is the mosquito.
It's true.
Yeah.
There's like 4 country festivals there. I remember it. Well, I had never been to
Oshkosh.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, Country USA. And
Yeah,
Oshkosh.
I think
Yeah.
I can't even remember which ones. I've done 2 of them. I don't, but there's like 4, and they seem to always.
And then there's Summerfest, which is like the big one. in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing.
I'm having a hard time putting my thoughts together because I'm still floored by this song.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, it was really so well done. There's one little melody lick in there, and I had the line in my head, and I finally remembered what it was. It was like, suddenly going out fishing wasn't such an imposition.
Yes, I was thinking the same
and it sounded like that
Yeah.
one little part of Live Like You Were Dying.
yes.
But, man, there's so many great elements to that song. And I didn't just listen to the song for the lyric structure or the melodic structure or a storyline. I listened to it because I felt I was the character. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's a great song, a great sign of a great song, is when you, the listener, become the character in the song. I mean, that's magic.
Yes.
It took you a lot of pain to write that song. And it took you a lot of broken dreams and a lot of broken promises and a lot of just heartache and
Self-doubt.
Yeah, self-doubt.
100%.
And I want to be that person, and I know Stormy has been that person for me and a lot of people in this town, but like, if this is anything tonight, if you're like, I don't know why I even showed up here, like, take this as keep going. So many times in my career, when I was at that end where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to move back home to Arizona, I'm going to quit, I'm done, I'm over this. I believe in God. God came down and said, don't stop, don't quit. And I think this is that moment for you.
Have you put that song out anywhere?
No, I wrote it, I think it was 2 months ago now. And I plan on doing it before the end of the year because I don't want to put a song
Put it out.
that's called 29.
Put it out. When's your birthday? When's your birthday?
January.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you got to put that song out in the next couple months. So I'll talk to you after this.
The world needs to hear that song.
Yeah, we got to get that song out. We got to get that song out.
Thank
So
you,
let's
guys. I appreciate that a
let's
lot.
figure out how to make that happen. If it's a financial thing, we'll figure that out. We'll get the people that listen to the show to crowdfund whatever we can do. That song needs to come out. So
Absolutely.
Thank you,
it's
guys.
A-listed
I really
for sure.
appreciate it.
A-listed as soon as it does come out.
And I think, I mean, your voice is so perfect for it, because it is your voice telling the story. I mean, I'd put it out as you. You know, I wouldn't not just. I mean, if somebody fell in love with it and wanted to cut it. You know, massive, huge star, great. But I think it truly is best owned by you.
100%.
And it's like I've put out songs before and stuff that, you know, it was kind of like you guys were talking about before, just kind of like trying to conform to what Nashville is and all that kind of stuff. And this is like the first time that I've like written a song that was for me, wrote it by myself and like that. So yeah, I'm really high on it and I'm very appreciative of you
I'm
guys
excited,
doing so,
man.
too.
No, I'm excited for that song. I'm excited for you. It takes some hard shit to figure out who you are. I know you're 29, but dude, you have the world ahead of you. Brett Young, who is not young at all, was 37, 38
old.
when he got
Yeah.
his big break. Sam Hunt, I think, was 37, 38.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of times we put this pressure on ourselves. Our family, you know, wants us to make it and all this stuff. But, dude, you're still young. You got a lot to look forward to. Do not stop. Do not quit.
It's so good. I'm. The reason I do what I do is to have the feeling that I had after I heard that song.
God, that's so
Damn.
cool.
That's
so cool.
that's the
That means
reason
a
I
lot
do.
from you, Stormy. I
So
appreciate it.
man, thank you.
Brian, you're going to be big. let's have you back. I want to have you back.
Yeah.
Definitely have him back. Absolutely.
And top that song.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
try to beat that song. So
There we go. Challenge
thank you
accepted.
so much, man. You were awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Brian
Let's
Goyette,
go.
man.
Have you guys heard the song by Caitlin Smith, "This Town Is Killing Me"?
Yeah.
That's like gave me,
I
Yep.
haven't heard that. I
dude.
need
It's
to check-
one of the
Thank
best
you,
songs
man.
I've ever
Congratulations.
heard
It
in my
was
life.
really
I need
well
to check
done.
that out.
It's literally, and now she's monstrously successful. But it's
Really?
about just literally her experience. Just this town is killing me.
I
a
gotta
great
check
song.
that song.
Anyone who's a songwriter, you should listen to that song. It's one of the best songs you'll ever hear.
Well, this pee is killing me. I'm about to go to the bathroom. Wait, can you hold the show for 30
Yes,
seconds?
let's
I
talk
think he
about
can do
it.
it. Do you
Let's
know
talk
how to
about-
host
I
a
think
show or
we can
anything?
do this.
I think Stormy's got it.
What do we got? 1 or 2 more left? We got.
I think one more.
One more. All right.
more.
Well, that was
We
the first girl that I met when we walked through the door.
Yes.
So that's going to be fun. We're going to get to know her in just a couple of minutes. But man, I love what you're doing here with
I
Playlist.
appreciate it. It's great to have you here.
This
It's
is
great. It's
really fun. I mean, seriously, a moment like that.
Yes.
That'll fuel me for another 10 years.
Absolutely. Austin asked me to be a part of this, and I'm basically just staying in town, playing downtown these days.
Sure.
So my work week is like Thursday through Sunday. And he's like, "Do you want to do this with me every Monday night?" And I'm like, "I don't want to give one of my days off."
God, that's a lot of commitment.
And I'm so glad. I literally go
inspiration you
home
feel.
every week just being like, man, I forgot. You can forget how much magic is in this town. And I mean, especially in your position as well, you're kind of seeing a lot of the same faces sometimes.
Sure.
And to just be reminded that there are new artists moving to this town every year, every day, who are just, the talent is just, it's kind of
And
hard to
some
not
of
be
them
humble.
aren't even from this country.
Some of them are even from Canada.
All the way up in
that good?
Calgary, would you please make welcome Stephanie Marcus?
Woo!
Asked her, I said, how long have you been in town? She goes, 3 days.
Has it really been 3 days?
Yeah.
This time.
No kidding.
Immigration's hard over here.
Immigration is hard.
Canadian, you know?
And seemingly getting harder, I guess, but I don't know
How are the
that
tariffs?
Oh man.
works. Are they bad?
I just
Are we
can't.
gonna have to edit that out?
No.
No.
If you heard what we had to edit out, you would know that
I
was
had to edit out
violence.
a lot.
This is kind of, I was up in Canada not too long ago, and I heard the rumor that in store shelves they actually put maple leaves on all the Canadian-made products just so that it's well known that those are the ones that you should buy up in Canada.
Wow.
It's true.
I will say
Yeah.
this. Buddy of mine got me some maple syrup from Canada. It's
really good.
I had it for the first time the other day. Way better.
Oh, yeah.
Way better.
How can you even compare it to
So
anything?
much
better.
What, to Log Cabin?
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever we're having tastes like
More
ass.
sommelier words.
No, what we're it's like big. It's like Big K compared to
Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
I grew up near Vermont, and it was like the same thing, like the maple syrup that they get up there. Just like, it's not Aunt Jemima's, that's for sure.
So, what else? I know you're about to perform, but what else? Besides, I'm sick of talking about maple syrup in Canada. What else do you guys have to offer?
Poutine.
Lots of poutine.
Poutine.
the
God, I
greatest
love
drunk
the
food
poutine.
ever. Yeah.
They also have Caesars.
I went to
Not Little Caesars or Caesar salad, but Caesars.
What is this?
Caesars. Yeah.
Caesars is Clamato juice, Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Ah.
Worcester sauce
hear
and
about
hot
that.
sauce in it.
What
too.
part of Canada? I missed the part.
Calgary.
Calgary. I went to the Calgary Stampede for the first time last year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. My wife owns a Shirtless Cowboy Show, which Storme Warren's the host of. No, I'm just kidding. She owns a Shirtless Cowboy Show called Ranch Hands, and they performed there, and I was the tour manager for the show.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So
Oh, my
Let's
God.
go.
Cowboy. What is it? Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
Calgary is Colorado. Denver.
Yeah,
Calgary and-
it's Denver, and
Yeah.
I drove up to Banff last time I was up there,
nice.
and it's just unbelievable
That's
up
what I've
there.
heard.
So cool.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Well, welcome to Nashville for
Welcome to
your
Nashville.
third day here. That's amazing. But you've been here before, and you've written down here before a bunch. So
I love it. Well, everybody give it up for Stephanie
Stephanie
Marcus
Marcus.
singing her song
Marcus.
Parking Lot.
I said Marcus.
You're good.
Sorry.
Put my car in park, scan the FM dial. I didn't know I'd be here for a while. Between the painted lines by that Walmart sign, I heard the preacher man say you gotta turn away from everything that I was doing that day. Didn't know that I was living a lie. Ain't it something you just can't find? When you finally find the light. And now I'm saying hallelujah at the top of my lungs. I've been washed in the water, I've been washed in the blood. Sick of living in that same old sin. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. He picked me up and he turned me around. Gave me something worth believing in. Man, who would have thought I got saved in a parking lot? I put the bottle down and I sobered up. I think I'm finally done with that stuff. It's about time I gave up my old ways. I dust the Bible off on that back seat. Those red letters have just what I need. Who'd have known I'd find heaven in this place? And now I'm saying hallelujah at the top of my lungs. I've been washed in the water, I've been washed in the blood. Sick of living in that same old sin. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. He picked me up and he turned me around. Gave me something worth believing in. Man, who would have thought I got saved in a parking lot? I got saved in a parking lot. Now I'm saying hallelujah at the top of my lungs. I've been washed in the water, I've been washed in the blood. Sick of living in that same old sin. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. He picked me up and he turned me around. Gave me something worth believing in. Now I don't gotta be who I've been. Man, who would have thought I got saved in a parking lot?
Stephanie Merkus.
Stephanie Merkus from Calgary.
Stephanie, who'd you write the song with?
Myself.
Yourself. Very
Wow.
cool. 100%er.
True story?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
at a Walmart parking lot?
So it's actually pretty funny. Yeah, I was actually here in Nashville. So
Yeah.
Nashville's got like a really, really special place in my heart. And I was kind of just going through this journey with God, and I was like, God, like, what is separating me from like a true relationship with you, and like actually like being all in this? And alcohol was like a huge struggle for me. And then after like I wrote this song, I haven't touched it since. So.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. No matter what happens with this song, you probably don't have a bigger hit personally than what it did for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that is amazing. The one thing I wanted to hear in that song is what were the words? Because, you know, it's like the preacher man on the radio preaching, and you felt hallelujah and you were saved in a parking lot, but what was it about the words being said, and what was the message being said? I just wanted to dive one layer deeper just to get a little bit of just a little, what was that piece of gold that was offered through the speakers? It could be just as simple as a feeling you got within your soul, just hearing it in that moment. But I'm probably pretty sure that it had to do something with that preacher was saying.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was mostly the conviction, and that's just what I kind of wanted to also portray in the song.
Would that be great to just say something of like, it wasn't even the words he was saying, but the way he made me feel, or something, you know, just something like that, just something that makes that connection a little deeper.
Yeah, totally.
Is that song out yet?
Yeah.
Nice. Very
God,
cool.
your voice is beautiful, and the story behind it even more powerful. And I'm glad you listened.
Yeah, it says you learned how to play guitar when you were on a missions trip in Africa.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So have you always?
So did I.
Well, how did that happen? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, it was after like high school. Like I grew up in a Christian home or whatever, and then it wasn't until like this parking lot song that I actually like really felt like that was it for me. But before, I had no other time to do anything else, so I was like, I'm gonna learn guitar, and then just learned guitar.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know for myself, I grew up in a very Christian home, and it's easy as a kid to kind of just fall into, you know, just going to church on Sunday, and it's just a part of your life. But I do what you said about that moment where it just hits you. You know,
Yeah.
you have those moments in life, and I think I've definitely had a few in the last year where it's just it hits you, and it's like, you know, everything you were taught as a kid all of a sudden like is sort of it's not taught anymore. It's like felt, you know. And so my wife has been awesome, like just trying to, you know, she just had a C-section a week ago, and yesterday she's like, we got to turn church on, you know. So it's like she's all in, and so she's been on fire trying to get, you know, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I went, I don't know if this is how it was for you, but like the church I grew up in was kind of weird, and so it's like
They're
you
all
gotta,
weird.
you know, it was a religion.
They're full of us.
It was a religion. It wasn't a relationship.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find that relationship.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
100%.
For sure.
That's
So
well put.
your song was, I feel like you finding that relationship. So very
Yeah,
cool.
and I love the personal connection to it. That is beautiful. I wanted to know more.
I'm with.
I wanted to be a fly on the window of that car to see exactly what that looked like.
Yeah, and I'm with Stormy. I think maybe it's part two. It did feel almost like a country song, like you felt like you needed the verse, chorus, and I do want maybe a part two where you dive a little deeper and say, what was that moment? What song was playing? What was that feeling? Why did you feel that way?
What did the moon look like or the sun look like? What
yeah,
what
just
was
a
that
little
light?
bit more details
What
on
was that
like
light? Yeah.
why,
Zoomed in.
like what
Zoom in. Yeah.
happened.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, I love that. So that's, I guess, my only advice on that song. But overall,
It's
like,
really good.
Congratulations on your new journey and just, you know, finding something that you always knew was there, but I think you found a little bit more. So, Miss Sarah Beth Brewer, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I was just going to share a quick story. There's a girl, probably shouldn't bring up her name, but she made it very far into American Idol, all the way up to the golden ticket. And she was on her way, and she had heard from the producers that if she was probably a shoo-in to be in the top 3, if not win the whole thing. And then she had a similar moment, and she just went, nope, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Wow.
She goes, maybe I need to pursue this when I'm a little more grounded with my relationship with God. And quit American Idol and quit her management team, quit everything, and said, sorry, Dad. And Dad's a big football coach. And he goes, sorry, Dad, but I'm being called to go on a mission trip for a year. And then I think I will have a better understanding of what I need to do from there. So I totally get where you came from and why you made both those decisions. And you're not alone.
Happened in White Lotus too. I don't know if you guys saw.
I
that.
have not watched it.
I love that show.
I need to.
White Lotus. She was trying to go. Nah. Anyways, we'll talk about that later.
Spoiler alert. No, just kidding.
Anyways, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on here.
I'll see you up in Calgary.
Give it up for Sarah Beth Brewer,
Yeah,
everybody.
all right.
We do have another person, Ashton Butler. Come on up here.
I thought I saw another name on here.
We do. We do.
We only have 5 names on our list.
Oh yeah. We do.
Yeah.
Ashton Butler.
Math is hard.
Yeah,
We're
it
really
is.
good at
Can I go pee now?
1 to 4.
Yeah, go,
Yes,
go pee.
absolutely.
Go pee. Absolutely. I'm going to take a quick second to thank one of our sponsors who's been here forever. They have supported us since day one. Picker, the Picker app. If you guys are an artist in town and you're looking to record your next song, find a guitar player on your next song, find a bass player, a recording studio, download the Picker app in the App Store, Pickr. It is just an awesome app where you can find your community, find your people to record your next song. If you need a studio, session musician, a producer who's actually vibing with your sound, Picker makes it easy to book the right people in seconds. No more endless emails, no more ghosting, just straight up connections with the best in the industry. Whether you're recording your first demo or your next big hit, Picker's got you. Download the app today and book your next session now.
How you doing, Ashton?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here. This is great.
This is great.
Such a cool concept.
Where are you from?
I'm from, I don't tell our people, I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Nice. That's cool.
Nice.
I love
And
that
not a
town.
Mormon, I saw.
Yeah, you put in here, you're like, I'm from Utah and I'm not Mormon. That's a wild...
Yeah, it's the first question.
It's a wild claim.
Yeah.
Though.
They say, are you Mormon and how many wives do you have? And I'm like, that's just not.
You're from Utah. Dude, that's crazy.
Or you play for the Jazz.
I don't like your drinking laws in Utah.
They've eased up a lot.
Have they?
Oh,
I
tremendously.
was in Salt Lake a couple years ago. It was terrible.
No, you used to have membership cards to go into bars there.
Really?
Yeah, you have
No
to sign it.
kidding.
Yeah.
You got to prove how many wives you have?
And I came home from a trip from Salt Lake with like 35 membership cards to bars because they wouldn't let you in. You had to pay $1 to get a membership card.
That's wild.
That's funny.
Well, let's give it up for Ashton Butler singing his song, Only Love Me When You're Drinking.
All right. Going out on a Friday night, I'm sitting here at home, wishing I was there with you, so you wouldn't dance alone. But we've already been there before, haven't we all? Oh, I know you're getting lonely, I'm waiting for your call. You only love me when you're drinking, I'm here all alone. You got me sitting overthinking what I'm doing wrong. You're at the bottom of the bottle, I'm at the bottom of this glass. Oh, this feeling's got me sinking, knowing what you're thinking. You only love me when you're drinking. Well, I know that you still think of him, wondering what went wrong. And I know it tears your heart apart every time you hear that song. You go reaching for the bottle, start to think of me. Oh, I know you're getting lonely, it's not the way it's supposed to be. You only love me when you're drinking, I'm here all alone. You got me sitting overthinking what I'm doing wrong. You're at the bottom of the bottle, I'm at the bottom of this glass. Oh, this feeling's got me sinking, knowing what you're thinking. You only love me when you're drinking. At the bottom of the bottle, at the bottom of this glass. Oh, this feeling's got me sinking, knowing what you're thinking. You only love me when you're drinking. Thanks, Al.
Ashton Butler, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic voice on that song.
Thank you.
It sounds really, really good. I like it. It's not an unusual theme for a country music song, but it still rides really smooth.
Thank you. I think it's going to be the saddest song I ever wrote, lyrics-wise.
It's always a good goal.
I was right away. I was like, oh man, I love this. Your guitar playing, your voice. And then I was like, people say I got a drinking problem.
There you go.
It ain't no problem. Yeah. And I was like, damn, it's just so close. It's so close. And that's my only critique is like, I loved it, I think, for a reason. It was just so familiar. I want to just challenge you on the melody. Yeah. Just, is it out yet?
That one's out.
Okay, it is? Okay. Yeah. Well, fuck me. It was so familiar. Yeah. It was so familiar.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment. I love Midland.
And that's you know, a lot of good songs have similar melodies. It happens. But I'm not saying it's a rip. It was just familiar, and I just challenge you. I wish the melody was a little different, especially with the drinking song. I was on it so bad to.
Even if one of the two needed to be just slightly different, either lyrically come up with some brand new way to say it. Yeah, or melodically, and preferably both. But if one was a little different, I think we'd be talking about this song a little differently. But it was both very kind of middle of the road paths to get there.
I will say this though: "Only Love You When You're Drinking," so good, so good. And I think anybody that drinks or has had a relationship where they're texting you at 2 a.m., whatever, which happens to Dean all the time.
Yeah, it's much better now. You should have met me 2 years ago. That was a lot worse.
No, but man, I'm gonna A-list that song because I really do. I'm serious. I did like it.
I'm obsessed with your voice.
I'm obsessed with your voice.
Yeah.
Obsessed with your guitar playing.
Yeah.
I think you're an awesome artist. That song was so familiar. I want to hear more from you, and I want to know. I know you changed it last minute. You changed your song, but I want to hear a little bit more. So let's have you back. Let's have a little bit. I want you to dig a little deeper. That's it.
Absolutely.
But overall, great. What'd you think?
Love a little stronger, dig a little deeper.
There you go. There you go.
Heath Warren was on a couple weeks ago, and he goes, "I want you to get a shovel and dig a little deeper."
Yeah, that dude just can't stop songwriting.
That's such a good line. But no, Ashton Butler, thank you, man. Congratulations. Yeah,
thank you so
awesome
much.
song. You made the A-list. And we'll have you back on, man.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like a weird compliment that I've given to people. I'm like, when girls say they want a guy who will sing to them, like that's what they mean.
That's it.
Like you don't want Chris Stapleton screaming "White Horse" in your face at the end of the bed. Like that's not as cute as it sounds.
This is my last thing I'm going to leave you with. I don't know why you changed your song last minute. I think you're trying to play a safe song. I don't want you to be safe. You have a voice that's not a safe voice. You're very talented. Don't play safe anymore. Do what makes you uncomfortable. Be different. Be Ashton. Oh, I almost said that. Be Ashton Butler from Utah and play songs that are you. Don't try to be anybody else.
Thank you.
Absolutely, you got this, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
All about the Mormon Church.
Yes.
Somebody comes on your show. Mm-hmm. They're being interviewed for maybe one of their first times.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, hopefully by this time your personality has not been whitewashed by media trainers. Because I can tell the difference, and most people in radio and who do interviews can tell when a young artist has been media trained. Because you see this almost like void of personality that is just thinking way too hard about what the right thing is to say instead of the most important thing to be, and that's yourself. I would take ums and ahs and nervous laughter and just real moments. I mean, Maddie and Tay, I fell in love with them the very first interview because they were so unapologetically themselves that it actually won so many people more over than if they were perfect.
Yeah.
And I think the same goes with the radio personalities in general. Everybody I know that has gotten into this business, me as well, you started off wanting to be so perfect that you forgot the whole reason why people are listening.
Yeah.
And they just want reality and they want realness. And the more, you can still get your point across and you can do it, but just don't forget who you are in your own internal voice. And that goes with songwriting as well. I mean, don't forget that internal voice and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's media training's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that? Because I don't think people understand what that is.
There is a business called media training.
When you sign a record deal, typically.
Yes, and usually it's an outside party, outside company that is hired on to, and they're usually ex-journalists or ex-radio personalities or personalities that have decided to make a few extra bucks consulting record labels by doing fake interviews with artists to train them and tell them what they're doing wrong and and just how not to be themselves, unfortunately. Right. And it seems so counterproductive to me. And when I see it come in and I've noticed that the training actually sunk in with them, I'm like, oh God, we've lost one. You know, it's like we've lost one.
No, it's true. I will say this about your boss. I want to talk about Garth a little bit because he's my hero. He's the reason I moved to town. I got the chance to meet him at the Palm. Mm-hmm. Word spread throughout the Palm. Garth Brooks is in the building.
Right. So you had to go.
I sat down his seat. I was the food runner. I was never a server or any, but I got to meet everybody. I got to meet you. I got to meet everybody. I set down his Caesar salad and I printed out a picture of us when I'll put the picture right here on the YouTube video.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's neat.
Picture of us when I was, I believe, 4 years old.
I think you've shown me that picture before.
And I sang the national anthem for him when he was playing spring training ball in Arizona.
I was there.
And he said, Peoria, Arizona, 1998. And I was like, he looked up at me. And he was there for Trish's inauguration to the Country Music Hall of Fame. That's why they were there. And he stopped the dinner and he goes, look at this. Like it was the coolest thing he's ever seen in his life. And I'm like, we're celebrating your wife. Like, this is embarrassing. I shouldn't have done this. But I just...
That's when he was with the Padres, right? He was with the Padres.
He was with the Padres. He was in his Padres uniform. I'm wearing...
I was there.
I looked like Garth Brooks.
I was there.
What were you doing there?
I was just doing my thing.
I sang the national anthem for that game.
I was there.
I mean, he played a couple games, but yeah.
I've known this story forever. That's so crazy.
I mean, I was there at that time. I cannot say that I saw you sing the national anthem.
No, you probably don't.
You would have remembered.
I don't remember who sang the national anthem at the Preds game I was at last week.
Right.
So, but no, he's my hero. But talk about media training, okay? Garth has a way of turning everything into about who you are. And I went on radio tour for young artists that are in the crowd. I went on radio tour. I had a song that was trying to climb the charts. It didn't.
We played
Dane was with me. You played it on the highway. It was climbing the charts, and I went into every radio station, and every radio station was like, what the fuck is streaming? That's what they said to me.
Legitimately.
I was like, they're like, your song is crushing on streaming, but what does that mean? Right. It was a little bit before my time. And where am I going with this? Garth, I heard stories through these people that I was meeting about how Garth remembered who their kid was. Garth remembered who their aunt was. Garth remembered that their wife was a teacher. That Garth remembered small details.
Yeah. They're all
Taylor
real stories.
Swift,
They're
right?
all real
and this
stories.
was a very
the same way.
It was a very important piece of my radio tour that every story that I had heard about Garth was about how specific he was to them. And I guess my question to you is like, what do you see in artists that can really take an interview to a next level?
Disarm a radio host very quickly by asking a question instead of waiting for one. And if you can turn that around and ask a question right back, well, how long have you been doing this? What do you? Suddenly, it becomes. It makes it. It takes the power away from the interviewer.
Because they do it every day.
Right, and so what it does is balances a conversation. It makes it so much more real because there's a lot of presenters, I call them, or radio personalities that enjoy being in control of the situation. But if you can take away a little bit of that control and just make it real, not trying to be a power player in the position, but just trying to make it more an even playing field.
It's not a job. It's an encounter.
It's like a
engagement.
conversation
It's an
instead of an
engagement.
interview.
Yeah.
And,
Which is more human.
and oftentimes an artist, if they're looking, they could see when a presenter is either not caring about the interview and they're just going through the motions, where they're turned around looking like this, like, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm here talking with.
We saw a lot of that.
Yeah, we saw.
Austin Burke.
The amount of conversations we had in the parking lot where we're like, didn't they ask us to come here?
No, the whole thing ended. My entire radio tour ended on a random. I think we're in Mississippi, and I looked at the radio girl and I go, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck are we doing?" I have
Yeah.
almost 100 million streams on this song, and this radio jackass is asking me.
So
what? He's asking
you've
me.
got a single out, right?
It was brutal.
Actually, it was in Milwaukee. He asked me if I could get a steak to go for his wife. And it was on my tab.
Yeah,
like,
Austin's covering the dinner.
Yeah, I was like,
He's covering the dinner, and the guy's like, I'm going to get a steak to go for my wife. I was
And
like,
a dessert.
And
I
was
love
like, damn,
people.
this dude doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, so.
And it builds character, though, right?
It does.
It builds something.
It does.
It builds something.
No,
Yeah.
it does.
Calluses.
Yeah. Yeah. I
All
did.
right, Can we
get
try to
meet-
call
yeah.
your person one more time?
No, because he's in bed now.
Is there anybody else you know?
The person I was going to call is one of my personal heroes and idols and also friends. And
is
this
it?
may be so personal to me that maybe anybody watching is going, what?
We got to know who it was at least.
Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel.
Oh my God!
Yes.
We would have never guessed
Jim
that.
Cantori. Oh, he would have given his little forecast voice and you would have known it in 2
Oh,
seconds.
yeah,
my
for sure.
God.
That's so funny.
So, last question before we go. We're wrapping up on time. If you have any advice to give to a young artist in today's world who wants to get their song to #1 on the Big 615, what advice would you say to him?
Keep going. Keep going. You've probably talked about it a million times on this show and elsewhere, but there's a cliche about the 10-year town, and the 10-year town rule is real. And don't look at it like you have to take 10 years to get it done, but to come to town, you have to invest 10 years. 10 years to get to where you want to be. It may only take you 6 months, but you have to come in here laying down a check for 10 years basically to yourself, saying, I'm not going to go, well, that didn't work 3 months later, and turn around and go home. You have to say, I am going to do this for 10 years. And chances are, by the people you meet, the people you run into, the work you're doing, the 10,000-hour rule about just playing, and not stopping, you will naturally see these puzzle pieces come together in some way. It's not a guaranteed success, but you're going to be a lot more successful if you do it that way than if you just go in looking for the quick hit. Former gambler going in and doubling down and trying to get the quick hit. Yeah. Those people are heartbroken all the time. Garth was one of them. He went back with his tail between his legs because he just thought the whole world was just going to lay out a red carpet for him. And it didn't work that way. Yeah. But it didn't take quite 10 years, but he was back and he made it work. And it's just, you got to invest in yourself those 10 years.
Yeah, I love that. I did ask Garth for advice, and I haven't told it on the show, but I'll say it now. I said, do you have any advice for me? I'm wearing an apron, a tie, giving him his food. I said, do you have any advice? He said, if you never quit, you'll never lose.
And I say it all the time. The only guarantee against failure is never quitting.
He said, if you never quit, you'll never lose. And I never forgot that. I've tried to quit so many freaking times. But, haven't yet. We're still fighting. So, Storme Warren, you guys are awesome.
Thank you for doing this.
Awesome.
This is a lot of fun being here.
Show.
Good to see you, my friend.
Storme Warren, I'm Austin Burke, Dean Purificato. This is Playlisted. Thank you guys so much.